Good evening and welcome to the Oliveboard platform. My name is Marush Sharma, your logical reasoning expert, and we are here today to start this new concept of calendars. But before I start, please let me know, can you hear me clearly and am I visible clearly? And then we'll start talking. Long time. Yes, Prithvi, absolutely very long time. So we'll start from that very information. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So actually what had happened is there were two things actually. I was on a planned leave for a while, and then there were also some logistical issues with the studio. So hence the availability was slightly problematic, and now we have set this up, this second studio where I am now taking the classes from. So hence a mismatch, hence a gap in between. Going forward from here onwards, I'm trying my level best that you don't face any issue whatsoever, any logistical problem whatsoever, right? But please bear with me for the next few days till the time everything is streamlined and smoothed, right? Now let's begin today's session. So this is calendars. All right. Now audio is not in sync. Okay, fine. But I hope this is not, there's not a huge gap. Sometimes, internet issues, etc. that might cause streaming problem, might cause some mismatch, but gradually it will be fine. We'll reset everything and everything should be working fine in future, right? So far, everything else is working good. Okay, let's start. So I'm talking about calendars, right? Calendar is one of the most important aspects from as far as any competitive examination is concerned. It can be SSC, it can be RRB, it can be banking, it can be any other examination. But calendars is a valid point, is a very important point, is a very important concept of the reasoning section. But the issue is frequency. The frequency is not very high. Not a lot of questions are asked from this section, and hence what students feel is that low ROI. Low ROI means you need to put in a lot of input, a lot of efforts. You need to study a lot, you need to give in a lot of your time, efforts, concept, understanding, practice. And after all that, maybe in 20-25 shifts, randomly in 1 or 2 shifts, you might see a question. That is also not guaranteed. So hence, because of this low ROI, what happens is that students choose to bypass this and almost not study this topic at all. Okay. Anyways, now there are two categories of students with me right now. If you are one of those students who is consistently trying to ace this examination but somehow somewhere is not able to do so, then you need to cover all these topics which you have been dropping so far. Number one. So leave no stone unturned. The other category of students are those who are actually starting their journey, their preparation journey. So for you, this is the right time, the apt time. Please do not drop anything. Please do not miss anything. Make sure you cover everything and you're up to date beforehand only, right? Now, it's a two-part series basically. In today's session, I will discuss the basics with you. We will start building on the concept from ground zero. And then in the next session, we will build up on the types of questions and some questions from it, some practice questions, right? So let's start from the concept of calendars. So first of all, let's understand the concept, the basic concept of days of the week, right? Today is what day? The date is 9th of February. And I'll say the year is 2026 and the day today is Monday. Okay, 9th February 2026, the day is Monday. Okay, now there are a lot of enthusiasts who, what they do is as soon as a new year starts, as soon as they get a new calendar, immediately they look at their birth dates. Okay, when is their birthday falling in this particular year, and they do this religiously every year. So if you are one of those, you already know this pattern. If you are not, then this is probably news to you. 9th February 2027, exactly a year later on the same date, what is going to be the day? Surprisingly, it is going to be a day forward, that is Tuesday. Okay, fine. 9th February 2028, the next year, what is it going to be? It is still going to be Wednesday. So what exactly is happening? That after every 1 year, this day is increasing by 1. Okay, after every 1 year, this day is also increasing by 1. All right. The next thing which I want you guys to know is that today is a Monday. Okay. 9th February is a Monday. Now let's see what will we have 7 days later. So 7 days later we'll have 16th February, which is again going to be a Monday. Okay, 7 days later. So again 7 days later we'll have 23rd February, which is again going to be a Monday. 14 days later is again going to be a Monday. 21 days later is again going to be a Monday. 42 days later again going to be a Monday. So what is the idea? The idea is that in every multiple of 7 and multiple of 7 days later, the same day is going to repeat. So if today is Monday, 49 days later also is going to be a Monday. 343 days later is also going to be a Monday. So any multiple of 7 days later, it's always going to be a Monday. That means the days of a week are repeating in every 7 days. If that is the case, then good evening, bacha, good evening. If that is the case, then technically we say in a year we have 52 weeks. Agreed? You might have heard of this concept. In a year you have 52 weeks. Each week has 7 days. So technically a year should be a multiple of 7. 52 into 7. Ideally, if that is the case, then the days every year should be repeating. Why are they changing? So now is the exact reason. So in a year we have 365 days. Okay. 365 days. Okay, I am saying this should be equal to 52 into 7, 52 weeks into 7 days. But when I multiply this, I get 364. That means a year has 52 weeks approximately. It's not accurate. And how much time are we left with? So 365 days, 364 are gone. We are left with 1 day. This is known as odd day. This is known as odd day. So this day decides the changing of days in the subsequent years. This odd day is going to decide the changing of days in n number of years. 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 39 years, anything. It's going to depend on these odd days, how your days are going to change. Why? Because every time the multiple of 7, the day is going to repeat. So we just eliminate those days. We are only bothered about odd days. Okay. Now, some of you have understood it right here, but some smart students ask me that, sir, 2028 was a leap year. Despite that, you considered Tuesday and Wednesday, not Tuesday and Thursday. And why is that? So now I will share the reason with you. 2028 is definitely a leap year. But if you observe the date and the month, it's 9th February 2028. That means we have not yet reached the leap day. The leap day is the 29th of February. 29th onwards, we will count 2028 to be a leap year. Before that, no. So till 28th February, this is not a leap year. After 28th, that is from 29th February onwards, you will count that extra day and hence it will become a leap year. So now, technically, if I would have said 9th February 2029, then what would have happened? This extra day, one odd day is already there, and one more odd day of the 29th February will be added in this list, and from Wednesday, we will straight away move on to Friday. From Wednesday, we will straight away move on to Friday. So this is for leap years. We have 366 days, which will be equal to 52 into 7, that is 364, plus 2 odd days. This is what you need to understand. For normal years, we have 1 odd day. For leap years, we have 2 odd days. Clear? So this is the initial concept, the primary concept which we have understood. Now let's move forward. Let's understand the science behind leap year. Why exactly are we taking every 4th year to be a leap year? Let's understand the reasoning behind it. Okay. Why is every 4th year a leap year? So technically, I'll give you a brief history. Actually, there are a lot of aspects involved in this concept and they are very interesting aspects, but we'll not get into those details because of course we are running short on time. So I will just quickly take you through a quick history. So the current calendar which you guys refer to, it is known as the Gregorian calendar, the English calendar which we all refer to as. It is known as the Gregorian calendar because Henry Gregory was the person who had realigned everything and who had designed this modern day calendar. Where was this calendar taken from? Did Henry Gregory design everything himself? No. This calendar was taken up from the last Roman calendar. So the Roman Empire was running on a calendar. From there, we had taken inspiration. We picked that up, we modified, we reshuffled everything, and we arranged a new pattern which was followed worldwide. Okay. What was that calendar like? So that calendar, after a lot of calculations and observations, they had come down to a number of 365 days. So they had boiled down to 365 days in a year. That means they were repeating this pattern in a year. Okay, 365 days. But now let's understand a brief concept of why was the calendar required in the first place. Okay, so basically they needed to keep a record of seasons. When is the next season going to come? When is the next season going to come? So what crop should be sown? When should it be harvested? How much time should we wait? Right? The main purpose was that. And the second biggest purpose was that they were scared of winters. Because at that time they did not have a lot of resources with them. So whenever the winters used to come up, they almost used to sort of hibernate. That means they used to stay indoors. And they never used to sleep for 6 months, but they used to stay indoors and they used to let the winters pass. So they used to hoard food throughout the year and they used to keep everything with them so that they don't have to step out, because they did not have the means to survive in that amount of cold. Okay, so you might have heard of a very famous show, a US based show. I'm sure everybody knows about it, where throughout the show they are talking about a winter coming up, an approaching winter, right? Winter is coming, winter is coming. I know all of you know it already. So the idea is somewhat similar to that. They were waiting for that winter and they needed to keep a count so that they knew when the winter is going to come and when are we supposed to stay indoors, let that winter pass and then start our calendars again. So the idea of keeping time came out from there, right? So they somehow boiled down to a unit of 365 days where they understood that within these 365 days, we'll also have an approximately 60-65 days winters. They will go and then we will start with our calendars again. That was the idea. But gradually, as and when the years passed, they saw that there was some sort of a mismatch. So what Henry Gregory did is the same thing was picked up in our English modern day calendar and we started. But later on, it was found out that there is some sort of a mismatch, because after a few years, we are either running too fast from the seasons or we are lagging behind from the seasons. So technically, a month has come up, right? March is already here, but the summers are not yet here. Okay, June has already gone, but the monsoon has not yet started. So these mismatches started happening and they attributed something which is wrong here. So of course, by that time, we had scientific exposure and we found out that the actual time taken by the earth to revolve around the sun is 365.24, and this was a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. A long decimal expansion was here. So they found out the error. What was the error? The error was that 365 days was not the appropriate time. It was 365.24 days. So we were ignoring this 0.24 every year. Okay, I'm not sure. I can hear some sort of a sound, but whatever it is, hopefully it's good. Yeah, so 365.24 days is what they attributed, and they thought that this needs to be taken care of. So how did they plan to take care of it? They rounded this off to 365.25. Okay, there was a large decimal number. They converted everything into 525. And they said 0.25 is equal to 1 by 4. 1 by 4th day in a year. How can we, so this is something less. This is something which you are not calculating. So what can we do? Let's do one thing. Let's round this off. Let's multiply this by 4. So in every 4 years, we will have 1 day, 1 extra day. And let's add this 1 extra day into our regular calendar. So after every 4 years, so their calendar was normal only 365, 365, 365, but the 4th year became 366. Again 365, 365, 365, the 4th year became 366. And with this, they felt that now we have a scientific breakthrough and finally we have solved the problem of calendars. But a few centuries later, some of them again sat down and understood that there is some mismatch happening again. The seasons are falling back, the calendar is running ahead, something is wrong. So they went to the archives and they got all this information out. Oh, our forefathers have done this. Let's see what is wrong here. And they found out this one little discrepancy. What was the discrepancy? That 0.24 was rounded off to 0.25. So they skipped. So they skipped a 0.01 here. Now 0.01 was a negligible quantity because 0.24 something something something, if you round it off to 2.25, you're skipping 0.01. You're assuming this to be extra in your calculation. But over the period of 100 years, this became another day. And this was causing the discrepancy in calculation. So what they did is they said, let every 4th year be a leap year. We'll add that extra day. But every 100th year will not be a leap year. So how is that going to work? So basically they said 4th year, next 8th year, next 12th, 16th, 20th, 24th, so on and so forth, 96th and 100th. This is how it was working on, right? They were saying all these years are surely leap years, but 100th year will not be a leap year every time. Okay, in every 400 years it will be a leap year, but not every 100 years. That means if I tell you that I have a year, let's say 1996, it was a leap year. Then I have the year 2000, also a leap year. Okay, now I have the year 1896 and I have the year 1900. Technically, what is the test for a leap year? The test is that my year should be divisible by 4. If a given year is divisible by 4, it is a leap year. So technically, this is a leap year. Is it divisible by 4? Yes, it's a leap year. Is it divisible by 4? Yes, it's a leap year. Is it divisible by 4? Yes, it's a leap year. Is it divisible by 4? Yes, but it is not a leap year. You can see the calendar, it's not a leap year. So any number which ends in 00 is always divisible by 4. Any number which ends in 000 is always divisible by 8. So this number, no matter what I write, is always going to be divisible by 4, but it is not a leap year because of this particular rule. Okay, so how do we check? So for the century years, see, for normal years, how do we check the divisibility for 4? We check the last 2 digits. So 96 is divisible by 4, so that is a leap year. But for a century year, always check the first 2 digits. Basically, we are checking for divisibility with 400, so the 2 zeros get cancelled. In simpler language, we just need to focus on the first 2 digits. If the first 2 digits are divisible by 4, the whole century year is a leap year, otherwise it is not. So 2020 is divisible by 4. Okay. The next leap year is going to be 2400. Next leap century year. Next is 2800, so on and so forth. And prior to this, it was 1600, 1900. So 1800, 1700, 1900, 2100, 2200, 2300, 2500, 2600, 2700. They are not leap years despite being divisible by 4. Did you understand this concept, everybody? What was the story behind, the science behind the conceptualization of leap year? Okay, there are some other interesting facts here, but I'm not going to delve into them. If you want, I can answer them, or maybe some other time we can get back to them if we have some time. Right? Facts like why do we add those extra days in February only? Why only February has 28 and 29 in those leap years? They are interesting concepts, right? But not important from the point of view of examination. So far, so good. Any issue? Any problem? Yeah, perfect. So let's proceed further from here. So these are the facts which you need to go through. I will just help you revise everything. We have already discussed almost everything here, right? So 1 week has 7 days. We know that already. 1 month has 4 weeks approximately, or 30 days approximately. Why approximately? Because some months are 28, some are 29, some are 31. Also 4 weeks approximately. So we can have like 4 weeks and some days, and similarly. So this will also change. 1 year has 52 weeks approximately. Again, I have already discussed this with you, and this is exactly what is the main thing which you need to be focused on. This right here. 1 normal year is 365 days, which is 52 into 7 plus 1, that is this 1 odd day. And 1 leap year is 366 days, which is 52 into 7 plus 2, which is these 2 odd days. Understood? Okay. So this is what is the main focus point here. Apart from that, we have already done this. If a year is divisible by 4, it is leap. If it is a century year, it must be divisible by 400. That means we cancel the 2 zeros out and we look for the place where, or the divisibility of the first 2 digits of the year rather than the last 2 digits. Now this becomes an important concept. How? Why? So I'll explain this to you. What is happening here? In every 100 years, we have discussed that you are going to have either 25 or 24 leap years. Why? So in every 100 years, if I divide 100 by 4, I'm going to get what? 25. So technically every 100 years should have 25 leap years. But these 25 are subject to counting the 100th year as a leap year. Not every time is that going to be. So I will say in every 100 years, definitely there are 24 leap years. The 25th is subject to the century year being a leap year. Otherwise 24 are for sure there. So for 100 years, I might not have a definite answer. I might say 24 years, I might say 25 years. But every 400 years will definitely have 97 leap years. How? So this is an example which you can see right here. I have divided these 400 years like this. So 1801 to 1900, this century year was not leap, hence 24 leap years. 1901 to 2000, this century year was leap, hence 25 leap years. 2001 to 2100, not leap, 24 leap years. 2100 01 to 2200, not leap, 24 leap years. So in these 400 years, no matter how many times you take them up, if you will add this, you will always get 97 leap years. So this is a fact-based information that in 400 years, every 400 years are 100% accurately always going to have 97 leap years. In 100 years, maybe 24, maybe 25, but in 400 years, definitely 97. So a fact-based question, it has been asked in the past, it can be asked in the future. So you need to be aware of this fact. Cool. Next, everything is in Hindi. I think you don't need all this. Now, this is the next concept. For normal years, the first day is equal to the last day. So for any normal year, if I have any normal year only, if I will say that 1st January of that year, let's say is a Monday, so 31st January or 31st December of that month, of that year will also be a Monday only. For a normal year, the first day of the year when the year is starting is equal to the last day of the year. Why is that? Let's understand in a very brief understanding. That 1st of January was a Monday. This is gone. This is gone now. After that, how many days are left? So 365 days in a normal year. One day is gone, 1st January. How many are left? 364. 364 days. Now every 7th day, the day is going to repeat. How will I find out how many extra days or odd days do I have? I will always take a remainder with 7. How do we do that? So we will modulo divide here. What do? We modulo divide here by 7. Anytime you have a gap in between where there are number of days given to you, you will modulo divide by 7 to get an odd value, how many odd days are there, and then accordingly you will find out the odd number of days in that period, whatever is given to you. Okay, why? Because after every 7 days, the days are going to repeat. So we are going to remove all the days which are repeating and we are only bothered with what are the excess. That means the remainders. What is modulo divide? So regular division always returns the quotient as your answer. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 100 divided by 4 is 25. What are these answers? They are quotients. Okay. So in logical reasoning, especially in the calendar section, if at all you are going to divide by 4, you are always looking for the quotient. And if at all you are going to divide by 7, you are always looking for the remainder. So modulo division implies that you are looking for the remainder as your answer. So 10 modulo 2 is not 5, it's 0 because 0 is the remainder. Okay, 16 modulo 6, it is not divisible, but 6 2s are 12. So 16 minus 12 is 4. So 16 modulo 6 is 4. 16 divided by 6 is 2. Are you getting the point? So that is what quotient and remainder are. So you need to understand this concept because this is crucial for calendars, and not only for calendars but also for the concept mod based arithmetic, which we'll be probably doing towards the end, where I will have a separate session on modulo division with you, how to handle the arithmetic concept of that. Anyways, come back. So this is the reason why the first day and the last day of a year are, normal year are similar. What about a leap year? So for a leap year, if the 1st of January is a Monday, then the 31st of December of that leap year is going to be a Tuesday. Why is that? There's going to be a +1 because after this one day, there are 365 days which are left. No, total 366 days. So after this 1st January is gone, we are still left with 365 days to go. If I take the remainder with 7, I will be left with 1 here. And this one, if I add in Monday, I will get Tuesday as my answer. So everything has a reasoning behind it. Okay, some will have reasoning, some will have, and some are just facts, plain facts. Just remember them as facts. That is going to be more beneficial to you. Now, this is what the most important principle behind finding the day of a particular date is. This is what you need to understand. This is the primary thing which we are going to understand, which you are going to study. Okay. So 11th April 1522 is a Saturday. What is 11th April 1542? 11th April 1522 is a Saturday. What is 11th April 1542? Just give me a moment, okay? Yeah. So how are we going to solve this question? How are we going to solve this question? We will take the difference of years, because each year we are going to find the odd days. Okay. So how many years? There are 20 years. We'll find the odd days in these 20 years and then we'll add and get the answer, because that is what is going to matter. Rest everything is going to get deleted because it's going to repeat after every 7 days. So we are not bothered with that. Okay. So how do we approach this? We say that 42 minus 22. You don't need to write 15 here. One and the same thing. 42 minus 22 is how many years? They say it's 20 years. Okay. Now we know that for one normal year, how many odd days do we have? One odd day. So for 20 years, how many odd days are we definitely going to have? We're definitely going to have 20 odd days for sure. One odd day for every normal year. That means for 20 years, definitely we are going to have 20 odd days. All we need to do now is calculate the extra odd days for the leap years. How do we find the leap years? Now a lot of students, what they do is they divide this by 4. So you will get 5 here as a quotient. You will write 5 leap years in between, and that is technically not wrong. But whenever there is a range given to you, it's a better method to go with the range and not directly, because you might end up making an error. I will show that to you going forward. Okay, so it's always better not to go from here, but rather divide them. So divide by 4, take their quotients and subtract. So 4 into 10 is 40, 4 into 5 is 20. Quotients only, I don't want the remainders. So 10 minus 5 is 5, so this 5 will be added here. So why am I adding 5 here? Basically I have 20 years between them. 20 years will have 20 odd days, 1 odd day per year, definitely. And there are 5 leap years between them. So for each of those 5 leap years, one day I have already calculated here. One extra day I am considering, so I am adding 5 here. That becomes easy for calculation. So now all in all, I have 25 odd days with me, which have elapsed in between these 20 years, which are going to change my day. Now, what am I going to do? In examination, I am sitting here, okay, I am aiming for an inspector's post, or I am aiming for a commercial apprentice post. And what am I trying to do? I am trying to say Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do you think am I going to do that in an examination? I don't have the luxury of time, right? So what will I do is, I will further reduce this. I will remove the remainders of 7. I will remove the cycles of 7 which are being repeated. So I will take a modulo with 7 here. So 7 3s are 21. Oops, I'm sorry. A lot of irregularities, but they'll get sorted soon. So 25 modulo 7. So 21. 7 3s are 21 will get reduced and we'll be left with 4. So there are basically 4 odd days in this calculation. There are basically 4 odd days in this calculation, which are something which I need to be careful about. Others, I don't care. The 21 days are gone because the days will repeat. So they are useless to me. So these 4 days are the main odd days. So I'll have to add these 4 days to Saturday and I'll get my answer. So I'll say Saturday plus 4. Now again, a lot of you, what are you going to do is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You're right. You're not wrong. Wednesday is the correct answer here. But again, the same issue. I have been telling you for a very long time now that please convert everything into calculation. At least the trivial basic part. Just do not get into studying everything one by one and continuously repeating it. That is not a good idea. Just reduce everything to calculation so that you don't have to think. Don't have to put your brains there. That is going to fasten your process. So what do we do here? So for that you will have to understand a days of the week table. Okay. I'll just verbally say that here, but I'll show it to you later on also. Monday equal to 1, Tuesday equal to 2, Wednesday equal to 3, Thursday equal to 4, Friday equal to 5, Saturday equal to 6, Sunday equal to 7, or also 0. Now Monday equal to 8, Tuesday equal to 9, Wednesday equal to 10, Thursday equal to 11. I had taught this to you already in the letter series concept. Okay, in the letter series concept, we have already done this, the cyclic addition. Do you remember? But here it is Monday equal to 1, Tuesday equal to 2, so on and so forth till Sunday equal to 7. And then it will repeat in a cycle, Monday equal to 8, Tuesday equal to 9, so on and so forth till 14, and this will keep on going on. So what do we do? So anytime you get a number which is greater than 7, you will subtract 7 from it, and anytime you get a number which is less than 1, you add 7 to it. That is the game. Now come back here. So Saturday plus 4. Saturday was what? Saturday was 6. 6 plus 4 is how much? 10. 10 is greater than 7. So subtract 7 from it. So how much am I left with? 3. And what is the third day? It's Wednesday. Now at this stage, you might feel that this is slightly complicated, but going forward, if you get this completely in your system, it will be in a fraction of a second where you will convert the days into numbers and you'll get your answers almost instantly. You don't have to rely on this. Please, it's a humble request. Do not do that. Because going forward is still easy. Going back is where everybody is going to waste their time and end up getting incorrect answers. Right? Hopefully this is clear to everybody so far, whatever we have done. Yeah. So this is the main principle. This is just a principle. Okay. Why? Because as of now, the dates and the months are still the same. We are only looking for the years. In actually, whenever there will be a question, they will also change the month and the days. That is where the actual challenge lies. So we'll go to that point also. We'll reach there. As of now, this is what we are here for. Now, this is factual. Simply remember it as a fact. Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday will never be the last days of a century year. Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday will never be the last days of a century year. Any century year, 2500, 2400, 2300, 2200. They will never be the last days. Similarly, Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday will never be the first days of a century year also. Okay, so make note of this. This is just a fact-based question. Now, this is what is important, what we are going to study next. This is the point number G. This table, very important. This is the table which I have already discussed with you. 1 equal to Monday, 2 equal to Tuesday, 3 equal to Wednesday, 4 equal to Thursday, 5 equal to Friday, 6 equal to Saturday, 7 or 0 equal to Sunday. We have already done this. So this you need to remember. Why? Because there will be two basic types of questions given to you. In first question, there will be a day already given, like in this case. Here it was given that it is a Saturday. So what about the next date? So if a day is particularly given, whatever the final numerical answer you're getting, you will add or subtract to that day. If 22 is given and 42 is being asked, you're going forward, so you will add. If 42 is given and 22 is being asked, you will subtract. That's simple from this given day. But if at all a day is not given, they are randomly giving you a date. They are saying that 15th August 1947. Please find out what day was it. Nothing else is given. Now there will be a slightly different calculation which we'll discuss further on. So after that calculation, you'll end up getting an answer. Let's say you end up getting 5. So now you'll ask me what is the answer. So at 5, what is the corresponding day? It's Friday. So Friday is your answer. Either which ways, this table is very useful to you. So please remember it and recall it, reuse it as much as possible in your calculations so that it is there with you. Right? I have some more data to share with you, but before that, let's understand why does this transpire? Why does this happen? Okay. So here they are saying that 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years, these are number of odd days. Now, whatever calculation you saw here, 20 years, we found out that we have 4 odd days to consider. Any number of years which are less than 100, okay, 89 years, 64 years, 37 years, 43 years, anything which is less than 100 can be easily calculated and accounted for, like we just did. Okay, but anything after 100, if you account for it in a normal fashion, it's going to be time consuming. So we need to have a table like this where we remember the data after 100. So we simply recall and use it right away as a fixed result. So this table is saying that every 100 years will have 5 odd days. Every 200 years will have 3 odd days. Every 300 years will have 1 odd day. And every 400 years will have 0 odd days. Okay, but why is that? So let's understand this. So I told you every 100 years will definitely have 100 odd days. And plus I said definitely will have 24 leap years. 25th is subject to the century year. So we'll say 24. So I am having 124 odd days. Now what about this? So I will take the remainder with 7, modulo 7. 119 will get minus and I will be left with 5. So every 100 years will have how many odd days? 5 odd days. Clear? Is this visible, everybody? Okay, now what next? So for 200 years. Again, for 200 years, again I can go by this principle, or rather I can take 105. So I can say 100 plus 100. That is 5 odd days plus 5 odd days. So we'll have 10 odd days here, and 10 modulo 7 is simply 3. So every 200 years we have 3 odd days. Okay, what about 300 years? So every 300 years we have 100 plus 200. 100 has 5, 200 has 3, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 remainder 7, 8 modulo 7 is 1. So every 300 years we have only 1 odd day. What about the others? The rest, everything is being accounted for in the multiples of 7. Everything is deleted. We are only left with 1 day which is considerable in 300 years. Right? What about 400 years? Now 400 years will be slightly typical. Why? because there are two approaches to it. Number one is 100 plus 300 and number two is 200 plus 200. What do we do now? So 100 is 5, 300 is 1, 5 plus 1 is 6, 200 is 3, 200 is 3, 3 plus 3 is also 6. So no matter how we are calculating, we are still getting 6 odd days, but you said we have 0 odd days. Now what is this? So come back to where we had started from, okay? In every 100th year, every 4th year is a leap year, every 100th year is not a leap year, but every 400th year is a leap year. Hence 2000 is leap, 2400 is leap, 2800 is leap, 3200 is leap, 3600 is leap, 4000 is leap, so on and so forth. Hence, because these are 400 years, we will add one odd day for the leap years, extra odd days. This will make it 7 odd days, which will eventually make it with remainder 7 as 0. So for 400 years, you will have 0 odd days. And I've put an asterisk here after 400. What does that signify? That signifies that 400 years will have 0 odd days and every multiple of 400 will also have 0 odd days. So 400 years, 0 odd days, 800 years, 0 odd days, 1200 years, 0 odd days, 1600 years, 0 odd days, 2000, 2400, 2800, 3200, 3600, 4000, 4400, 1400, etc., etc., etc. will all have 0 odd days. Clear? So far so good? Okay. Let's understand slightly, little bit of more concept before proceeding on to some examples. Okay. So fine, we have understood a lot of things. Another thing is, till here, if you have understood that I had told you that the months and the days will never change at this stage. We are changing the years. But whenever the months will change in future, whenever the months will also change, we will have to account for the odd days in months also. Okay. So I am telling you that we are only talking about, let's say, a 4-month period, January, February, March, April. So in this 4 month, you will say, so January had 31 days, February had 28 days, March had 31 days and April had 30 days. If I take a total, I get around 62 plus 30 is 92 plus 28, 92, 100, 112 and 8, I think 120 approximately, right? So 120 days and then you'll take a remainder with 7 and you'll go forward. But that is not how ideally it should be done. So there is another table which you can remember. For every month which has 31 odd days, 31 days full, take the remainder with 7 right away. So you'll get 7 4s are 28, subtract, you will get 3 odd days. So any month which has 31 odd days in them, you will always count only 3 odd days. January 3 days, March 3 days, May 3 days, getting it? July 3 days, August 3 days, October 3 days, December 3 days, right? Any month which has 30 days, take the remainder with 7, you will get 2 odd days. So April, June, September, November, these months will have 2 odd days. February, if it's a February of a leap year, 29 odd days, we'll have 7, we have 1 odd day. So any February, if it's a leap year February, you'll have 1 odd day there. And all the other Februaries, regular normal Februaries, will have 0 odd days. So this table also I need you to remember. Calculations will become easy. That's why we are doing all this. Now I'm giving you an example. Okay, I am asking you, son, please tell me 1982 years, 1982 years, 1982 years have passed. Please tell me how many odd days have happened. 1982 years have passed. Please tell me how many odd days have happened. Now this is tricky. You had taught us about 20 years. You also showed the table about 100, 200 years. This is 1982, 1982. How am I supposed to find this? So now please pay attention to what I'm going to do here. It's going to solve all your problems and you're going to understand why that table was important. Okay. Always divide this into 2 parts. Okay. 1982, always divide this into 2 parts. The first part is the century part, 1900. And the second part is the excess part, which is 82. Okay, always separate the century part and separate the excess part. Now, in this century part, always take it to the nearest multiple of 400. Nearest multiple of 400. 400 into 1, 400 into 2 is 800, 400 into 3 is 1200, 400 into 400 is 1600, 400 into 5 is 2000. Now, 2000 is greater than 1900, so we will not consider that. The nearest least multiple of 400. Lowest means, least means lesser than 1900. So that is 1600. So we'll express this as 1600. Plus whatever balance is left. 1600 plus 300. Agreed? We can break down 1900 as 1600 plus 300. Now 1600 leap years, 1600 years, multiple of 400 will have how many odd years or odd days? We'll have 0 odd days, multiple of 400. What about 300? 300 we know only has 1 odd day. So total of how much? Only 1 odd day. And what about 82? 82 is less than 100. It's the same principle. So for 82 years, we have 82 odd days plus how many leap years? So divide this by 4 and only take the quotient. What is the quotient? Quotient is 20 here. Because 4 into 21 is 84. So that's more than 82. Less than is 80. So to 20 we'll add here. We'll get 102 days here. 102 plus this 1 is 103. So we have 103 odd days in 1982 years. But is this a considerable number? No. So what do? We'll take a remainder with 7. Okay, 7 into 14 is 98. That's the closest one. So we'll subtract 98 and how much are we left with? 4. So there are 4 odd days, 4 considerable odd days in 1982 years. Do you understand how you will use this? How you will use that table in your benefit? Is it clear, everybody? Whoever is watching? Right? So this is the concept I was talking to you about. Cool? Let's look at an example. Yes. If 10th November 2006 was a Sunday, then what day of the week was on 10th November 2040? I want everybody to participate and give me an answer here. Tenth November 2006 was a Sunday, then what day of the week was on 10th November 2040? So I'll not drag this session or not. I want to end it up. So this example we'll do and the next example we'll do. And if we have some time, I want to discuss that story with you of why February only has 28 and 29 days. A short, brief understanding I'll give you. And then from the next session, we'll start with the balance, the remaining concepts. Okay, I don't want to load you with the concepts on the very first day. I know I have come back after a long time and I am very grateful to all of you for the patience you guys have shown. Be patient with me a little bit more for the next few days and we'll be streamlined. Yes, 10th November 2006 was a Sunday. Then what day of the week was on 10th November 2040? So what is the approach here? Anybody? Nobody? So what is the approach here? 2040 minus 2006. (40 minus 6). What is that? 34 years. 34 years have 34 odd days. Plus, we have a range here with us. So, we'll divide by 4, divide by 4. This is 10, the quotient here. This is 1. So, 10 minus 1 is 9. We'll put 9 here. 34 plus 9 is 43 odd days. 43 remainder with 7 is 1. So, we are only left with 1 odd day. In 34 years, we are only concerned with 1 odd day. That 1 odd day we will add to Sunday. So, Sunday plus 1, we don't even have to calculate anything. We know that the answer is Monday. Option B is the correct answer. Easy? Cool. I have answers here. Very good. Excellent. Good job, guys. Very good. Right? Now, if this is clear, I am very sure you will be able to easily attempt this one. Try this one now. 16th February 2009 was a Monday. Then what day of the week was on 16th February 2012? The gap is also not very wide. So, this can be easily done. Okay, we are getting multiple answers. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so 16th February 2009, 16th February 2012. Sir, it's very easy. We'll say 2012 minus 2009. So we don't need this also. 12 minus 9. So we have 3 years, so 3 odd days. Plus, divide by 4, divide by 4. So this is 3, 4 2s are 8, 3 minus 2, 1. So we have 4 odd days. 4 odd days straight away we add to Monday. So Monday plus 4 is Friday. So technically my answer is Friday. Correct? How many of you have got Friday? Okay, that's very nice. I have all smarties in my class. Wonderful. So technically this is a calculation which a lot of students end up doing because of the mathematics I have taught. But here is the problem. Friday is not my correct answer. Okay, why is that? Because this calculation here is not right. 12 minus 9, it's okay, it's 3 years. So 3 years will have 3 odd days, perfect. But when you divide by 4, always remember why have I asked you to use the range? Because whenever you get a number which is divisible by 4, completely divisible by 4 in a range, you always have to check for that year. How? 12 divided by 4 is 3. 9 divided by 4 is 2 in the quotients. 3 minus 2 is 1. But this one leap year, which is that one leap year which they are counting between 2009 and 2012? It is 2012. They're basically counting 2012 as a leap year. But if you observe the date, it's 16th February 2012. It has not yet crossed 29th February. So yet, at this stage, 2012 is not a leap year. After 29th February, we'll consider it to be a leap year. Hence, we will not consider this one here. This is not calculating. We are not calculating this. So we'll only consider this 3 here. Okay. And this 3 we'll add to Monday to get Thursday as our correct answer. So of course, mathematics is going to help you, but also you need to be slightly smart when you're calculating. So this will be a break. This will be a caution. Whenever you look at a number which is divisible by 4 in this range, either ways, either it's here, or it's in both the places, always make sure that you look at the years clearly. If they are clear, if not a problem, then you can go ahead. If there is some issue, rectify and then correct it here. So right here also I did the same thing. 40 was divisible by 4, but it did not create a problem because the dates were quite clear here. So we were not bothered about it being a leap year because we were already going till 10 November. So leap day was already counted here. But here it was not. Hence, that gave us a value of caution. Understood? So far, so good, clear. So this was the basic of calendars. Now, I don't want to burden you with a lot of information. Going forward, what are we going to do is, there are 4 types of questions. So this is question type 1, then type 2, type 3, type 4. We'll do 4 types of questions in the next session, first half probably. And in the next half, we are going to practice a few questions so that we are ready with whatever comes our way as far as calendars is concerned. Now, since we have time, let's just utilize it and let me tell you a short understanding of why exactly do we have certain things. So I'll just give you a brief story. Okay. So as I told you, Henry Gregory had taken this calendar from the Roman Empire. Okay. Now, how did the Romans start building the calendars? So they started from the month March. The Romans started from the month March. March, April, May, June. There was some other name here. I don't remember the name. Again here something else. Then, so can you see this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th month is September. Do you understand? 8th month is October. Now do you understand why the nomenclature is that way? 9th month is November and 10th month is December. Do you understand the Roman nomenclature? And all these names, there are English names which I have written, but they were all names based on Greek gods. Something similar to March, something similar to Avril. They were using Avril. They were using Mai, Mai. The French still use those notations. Okay. And then gradually, Gregory just renamed everything, brought it to English terms and then just used the calendar. So this was the calendar they had prepared, the Romans, for 10 months. Why 10 months only? Because they accounted for the days here to here. And then after this, they used to have, extreme winters. So they used to stay indoors. Nobody used to keep track of time. And after that, once everything was normal, the seasons were okay, they used to start from March again. So from March to December, they used to understand that now the winters are going to come. Let's stay indoors now. Then again, March, again it used to start. So this is how they started. And what was the process like? The process was 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, 30. Okay, so the numbering was like this. So they said 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31 and 30. So 10, 3, 300, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 305 days is what they had accounted for. And it was a very simple process, a very simple calendar which they were following. Okay. Now what happened is, there came a big king who was born in this month. Okay. And he said that I was born in this month. Okay. please name this month as with my name. The name of the king was Julius Caesar. I hope everybody knows about him, right? Julius Caesar, English literature, Shakespeare. So he said, please rename this with my name. So this became Julius at that time, which later on converted to July. 31 days. Okay, he was born in this particular month. So it was renamed after him. Now, his reign got over, and then, years later on, there was another king, and he said, oh, what? Only Julius is the, king here. Only Julius is famous. So in his ego, he said, even I was born in a particular year. Rename that in my calendar. And he was born in the exact next month. Okay, so they changed this name. His name was Augustus Caesar. And hence, this month became August, like we now call it, on the name of Augustus. But he said, no, why will I have 30-day month? I don't want that. Change it. Make it 31 only for me. And what they did is, by this time, okay, so before this had happened, before this transpired, let me just take you slightly back here. Okay. So this is how everything was going on. Then they said that 305 is not sufficient. Let's account for the winter months also. So what they did is, they said, I think 60 more days will be here. Okay. So what we'll do is, we'll have another month named as January here, which will be 31 days, 31. And what is left here? So this is, I think 29 will be left here. So we'll put it here in the month of February. So the calendar started to end at February. These are the winter months. And this is how they labeled everything. So this is what happened. Now this guy, he said, I am born in this month. Please rename it in my name. So they renamed this month as Augustus after him, which now became August. And he said, remove this day also. I mean, add an extra day here. Make it 31. I am also great king. Now from here, everything else then changed course. So this became 30, 31, 30, 31. Okay. Everything changed course. And this became 29 or 28. So the leap day was added in February because February was the last month. Then what did Gregory do? Gregory renamed all the months as per English data, and then just reshuffled and rearranged everything. He started from January and ended in December. And this is how your modern day calendar was born. So this answers a lot of your questions. Number one, why only July and August are 2 consecutive months with 31 days each? Because rest everywhere else you have a gap of 1 day. So 31, then 30, then 31, then 30, like that. Why only February has 28 or 29 days? Why are we adding or subtracting leap days only in the month of February, though it appears to be somewhere in the middle? This is the reason. Because February technically was the last month in the calendar. We just reshuffled it. And hence, I think a lot of countries, even our country, our Hindu calendar, our other, religious calendars which we follow, the Shak Samvat, the Vikram Samvat, the Shak Samvat which we follow, the government of India follows, it starts from April and ends in the month of March. So a lot of civilizations previously used to start like this. Okay. But now things have changed, and globally we are following this calendar from Jan to December. Hopefully this story was pretty interesting, right? We'll end the session here. Thank you so much for watching it till here. Thank you so much for being with me till here. Hopefully you have understood the concept of calendars. Now what you need to do is, at your end, please revise everything. I'll share the notes with you after the session is over. Go through everything, understand the concepts, try to build them one by one. Solve these examples. Solve a few examples at your end. Please use the 360-degree study kit. Okay. So once the video is available, this is for paid subscribers only. Once the video is available, you will have a 360-degree study kit which will be enabled, which will have some AI features there. You can watch the summary of the video. You can download everything, all the extra notes which are generated by AI with high accuracy for you, and then utilize them for your benefit to save time. Once you're done with this, I'll meet you guys tomorrow again in the next session, where we will start with the part 2 of calendars. We will understand the 4 types and we will solve some questions. Thank you so much for joining live. Thank you so much for being patient with me for all this while. I will henceforth regularly be in touch with you, and will continue this process, this series further. Thank you so much, guys. I'll meet you around. Take care. Bye-bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind.